Hey, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Shannon. How you doing? Nice to meet you. I hope you're having a great, fabulous day. And today I have some content for you, which I hope you enjoy. Today I am going to be talking about series. I'm going to be doing a series update. So, right, strap in, get your seatbelt on, get yourself a cuppa, do what you want to do, a snack, whatever, and let us get into the mess that is my reading of series, because I suck at finishing series, but I rock at starting them. So that just equals mess, right? I am currently in the middle of 16 series. That's a lot of series. I will flash on screen all of the first books from the 16 series that I have started and not completed. But I will say that I get to mark off one because in the month of February, I finished the Casti Blake trilogy, so I am now down to 15 series. I managed to mark one of these off this year so far. I am very happy with that. Kicking it off with Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. Now, I feel like every time I bring up this series, I call myself out because I'm a huge Sarah J Maas fan and I have not yet completed one of her bigger works, and I feel like I should have completed it already. I actually got up to Empire of Storms, but because I left the between Queen of Shadows and Empire Storms, I left a huge gap. I feel like I didn't want to jump into Empire of Storms. I wouldn't get the right amount of enjoyment out of it because I had left it so long that it just felt like I was going to jump back into the world and not feel all the things that I should be feeling. So I don't know if I think I want to restart this series just straight off the bat from Throne of Glass. This is not a huge goal that I want to just read them all in like a couple of months or a year. I want to make sure that I'm leaving not as much time in between books and I'm getting to them in a timely manner. My one goal for this year is to reread Throne of Glass so that I can then start the series again and hopefully maybe one book every 2 months I could read and finish the series finally and not leave so long in between the books and get better enjoyment out of them. So hopefully I will do that, but we shall see. The next series I have here is the Kingdom of the Wicked series, and this is a trilogy, I believe. The third book comes out this year. I would very much like to reread Kingdom of the Wicked, read Kingdom of the Cursed, and then when the third book comes out, finish it off with reading that book. Hopefully I can do this. This is one of my priority series or trilogies for 2022. I think this is a good place to like start knocking things off my list because I feel like it's a trilogy. I really enjoyed the first book. I could reread that and read the other two fairly quickly. I have time before the new one comes out. I can't remember what date the new one comes out, but I will pop that on screen as well, and hopefully I will pick these up because I want to start knocking some of them off my list, and this seems like the perfect one to start it off with. Next we have the Bargainer series, and I have read the first two books, I believe. Have I read the first two books? I think I've read the first two books. If not, I will correct myself on screen. And I want to complete this, but it is not a priority this year. It is not a top priority. These are on Kindle Unlimited, so I feel like I can access them at any point and I can fly through them fairly quickly. I read the first one in like 2 days, I believe, so I think they're quite easy to pick up and drop off. I think that I will maybe even buy the bind up because there's a bind up of the whole series and just read that in one go. Again, when I feel like it, it's not a rush. If I want to complete some series, then I could knock this off fairly quickly, but there is other series that I want to prioritize over this one. So yeah, like when I get to it, I get to it. If I feel like it, I'm pretty easy on this one. Next, we have the Last Hours trilogy by Cassandra Clare. I have read the first book and I own Chain of Iron and I need to read it. I have put it on so many TBRs and not picked it up. And I believe it's because I don't know if you can see it, but I own the beautiful Fairy Loot edition and I'm very precious with it. I don't want to take it out and about with me, so I know when I read this book, it is going to be a book that I have to read while I'm in the house, and I think that is kind of dampening my want to read it, because I tend to like to be able to take my books wherever I want and read wherever I want. So that could be an excuse, but at the same time I'm using it because I will get to this. This again is not a huge priority for me this year. I do think that I could probably read it fairly quick and then read the third one, which I believe comes out this year. Again, all dates will be on screen. And if I do pick up Chain of Iron and do want to continue and complete this series or trilogy this year, I definitely will. This is one of them that I would if I felt the want, because I do really enjoy Cassandra Clare's work, and Cassandra Clare's historical fiction is one of my favourites, the way she writes. So I definitely think that this could be a contender of my 2022 want to complete list. But we'll have to see if I get to it. The next trilogy I have here is Serpent and Dove, and I own all 3 books, so there is no reason why I shouldn't have read this by now. I read the first one in like 2 days for a readathon and really enjoyed it, so I do want to continue and I'm excited to continue. But again, I don't feel pressure to continue this one. I feel like when I have time, when I have want or need, I will pick up these books. And also because I own them, there's probably a bigger chance that I will get to them quicker because they're on my shelves. I tend to try and prioritize books that I own. Because I'm running so low on shelf space, I kind of need to read and either unhaul or decide if I'm going to keep or not fairly quickly, just so that I have room for books that I'm buying. And that is the whole reason of the book buying ban, because I want to have my shelves reflect me as a reader and have TBR books that I'm so excited for. But at the moment I have books I'm meh about, and I have books that I'm really excited for, and I have books that I've lost interest in. But because I just read one of the books from my self-destruct pile and favorited it, I'm now hesitant to get rid of any of the books that I haven't read in case they have the potential to be a favorite. But I do think that this is a trilogy that is going to stay on my shelf until I get to it. The next trilogy, which is essentially a set of companion novels, is the Brown Sisters. I have read the first 2 books and I 4-starred them both, I believe, and I just need to read the third one. I really had a good time with these. I think the author is very funny in her writing, and this is a priority for me in 2022. The reason this is a priority is because I have 1 book left. It is romance, it is fairly easy to read, and I enjoy the characters already that have been built up in the first and second book. So taking on the final book, I could probably read it fairly quickly. It's an easy way to knock one of these trilogies or series off my list. So yeah, the Brown Sisters is definitely one that I want to complete. The Brown Sisters is definitely one that I want to complete this year, and hopefully I will. Then we have the Bridge Kingdom, which is actually a 6-book series, but they're set in duologies, I believe. And again, I feel the same with this one as I do with the Bargainer series. Because I'm reading these on Kindle, I feel more loosey-goosey about reading them. I can pick them up whenever I want, and I can read them while I'm on the go. I can read them if I don't have a book with me, but I have my Kindle. Like, I am definitely interested in continuing on with these series of duologies. I'm quite interested in reading that because it's something that I've never read before, and I did enjoy the first one, so I do believe I will continue enjoying them. But again, when I get to them, when I feel the need to pick them up, I will. It is not a huge priority, which is probably what I'm going to say about most of these series, because I'm trying not to overwhelm myself. I want to have series that I want to complete in 2022. I want them to be achievable series, and the other ones I can hopefully maybe finish next year or work a way around actually reading them. Because the thing is some of these I started and didn't really want to continue, which is going to take us right on to the next one. I'm going to go right in. Suki Stackhouse series. So I watched True Blood in its entirety for the first time ever in 2020. I had never watched it. I had heard about it, but I had never actually watched it. And as soon as I watched it, I wanted the books. I wanted to be in this world more. I loved it, and I think I bought all 10 books, and I only have 2 left to get. And I bought the beautiful editions that are all rainbow. And then I read the first book, and it was okay, it was fine. And I went to pick up the second book, and there was a huge character death that just wasn't it. It wasn't it. Like, I am so salty about that. I bought this series because I wanted more of the world, but I also wanted more of this one specific character. And the one specific character that I wanted more from dies in the second book. I was so annoyed. I just bought all 10 books. I only had 2 left to get, and then I pick up the second one, and the character that I love most dies. So I don't know if I will be continuing on in this series. I think I might give it 1 or 2 more books, and if I don't like it, I will just unhaul the whole series. I went in with the best intentions, but taking a whole character that is such a big part of the show out of the books, especially it being your favourite character, kind of just knocked my enjoyment straight away. I was like, do I even want to read these anymore? So I'm going to give it its fair due. I am definitely going to try 1 or 2 more books. If I don't like it after that, I'm gonna just say bye, because I'm upset. I'm upset about it, okay? In a similar vein, we have the Otherworld series. Now, this isn't similar because I disliked any of the books. I've read the first 2 books, but this is a big series, and each couple of books we follow different characters and different paranormal creatures and in the same world, and it's called the Otherworld. And I definitely want to continue this, but I'm not in a rush. This is a big series. I pick them up when I feel in the mood for them. I don't know how I'm going to get along with the change of narrative every couple of books. I do like the thought that every couple of books we have a different fresh perspective, and that we follow different magical creatures. I do think I'm gonna like some more than others, but like that's the fun in it, I think. And it's not something I've really read, having split like change of POV in different books. So I am definitely excited to try this and continue on. The third book that I am on now again has changed. We followed a wolf in the first book, now we are following a witch, but it is a witch that we met in the previous 2 books. So I'm excited. I am excited, but I'm in no rush. I do have some of them on my shelves, and I will read them if I'm craving that paranormal kind of, like, I don't know, like that nostalgic paranormal feel. They give me that. So if I'm craving that, I know that I can jump into any book in this series and get exactly what I need. The next trilogy I have here is kind of a sore point. So it's Scythe, and I've read Scythe and Thunderhead. I just have the Toll to continue, and I'm scared because I've tried picking up the Toll 3 times now and have had no success in actually finishing it. I loved Scythe. Scythe was so good. Thunderhead was okay, not as good as Scythe, and I just can't seem to finish the Toll. So I have gave myself the objective that in 2022, if I pick up the Toll and DNF it again, I am just going to unhaul it and keep Scythe and just have Scythe on my shelf, because that is a 5-star and I absolutely love it. But I can't keep trying to force myself to read a book that I have put down 3 times. I obviously am not enjoying it if I keep putting it down. So this is the last chance for the Scythe trilogy. If I get rid of them, I will be getting rid of books 2 and 3. I will be keeping Scythe because, again, I really enjoyed the first book. But this is the last chance that it's going to get, and I feel that, and it's intimidating. But in 2022, there is going to be a decision of whether the trilogy stays on my shelf or if I only keep 1 book. Next, we have The Royals, and I have read the first book in this. No rush to complete this. This is a new adult romance series that I am reading on my Kindle. There is a total theme here. Everything I read on my Kindle, I'm not really in a rush, because I feel like I can pick them up whenever, wherever, and it doesn't really bother me. I am trying to complete the series that are on my shelves so that I have more space. Kindle books I can kind of like go in and out of, and especially series I can just dip in and out when I want, especially series like this. I probably will pick them up at some point because they're fun, they're not as intense as some of the other series that I want to complete on this list. So I think that I'll just pick them up when I'm in the mood for new adult romance, and I will have a ball, really, because I really enjoy when I pick up new adult romances on Kindle, because I just fly through them and I just have a grand old time. The next trilogy I have is Cursebreakers. I have read books 1 and 2, and I only have the third book left, but at this point I feel like I've left it too long in between books, and I would need to go back and either read the second one or read the whole trilogy again. Well, the whole 2 books again, and then the third book. I do want to complete this in 2022. I did enjoy book 1 and 2, so the natural progression is to finish this trilogy off with the final book. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, if I'm going to reread or if I'm going to just try and dive into the third book, maybe read some spoiler reviews of the first and second. I will see how I feel, but I definitely want to complete this year because I have another book by this author that I want to start, but I don't want to start another book by this author without completing this trilogy, because I have been reading it since it came out, so it just seems natural to finish this before I start their newer work, and hopefully that will get done this year. Next, we have the Wicked Villain series, and I believe I've read 4 books out of the 6. And I just really enjoy these. They're really fun. I'm actually listening to them on audio, on script, which means I will probably finish this book series this year, because when I'm in a certain mood or when I want an audiobook, I tend to just put one of these on. I'm very picky with audiobooks, but these books, in the nicest way possible, have not a lot of plot. They are just character and smut based, so I get along with the audiobooks fairly well. I like the narrator, I like the characters, so I will probably finish this year because I'm listening to them on audio, and I only have 2 books left. So I'm really enjoying myself with these. They're fun, they're nothing favourite or groundbreaking, but they are fun, and I do enjoy the audiobooks. Although they make me blush like 90% of the time, I still just want to finish this series, and I will definitely be picking more up from this author. I will probably try this author's other audiobooks, but yeah, I am gonna finish this series this year, because when I'm reaching for an audiobook, this is the series that I reach for. Then we have the one that is so very shameful, which is Crescent City. I have read the first book, and my most highly anticipated book was the second book in this series. But then I ended up in a slump, and I read a certain amount and put the book down because I was slumping so hard that I didn't want to force it and not enjoy it. So I am still technically reading the second book in this series, and then I will be up to date of the ones that are actually released. But I do feel like this is definitely going to get completed this year. Like, I've read and reread the first book. I just need to read the second book, which is my most highly anticipated book for 2022. So I definitely think I'm going to get to this year and complete what is being released. But yeah, I'm so ashamed that I haven't read it yet. But at the same time, when a reading slump hits, and you just got to go with how you feel to get out of it. And I'm just starting to get out of it now, so maybe once I read a couple more books and I'm fully out of the reading slump, I can pick this second book up again and finally complete my most anticipated of 2022, which would be a nice feeling. And that is the 13 series that I am currently reading. I am going to put a list on the side of the screen here, and I'm going to put it from 1 to 13, and this is going to be from top priority to lowest priority, which is interesting to me. I don't know if it's interesting to you, but I feel like because I have so many series, I do want to prioritize some over others, and this is the current standing of all series that I want to complete and how important it is for me to complete them. Hopefully I will finish. My goal is to finish at least 5 books this year. Well, not 5 books this year. My goal is to complete 5 book series this year. I am already down to 4 because I've already finished Cassidy Blake, which is great. I feel accomplished already, and I just have 4 more series to complete and then I will be happy. And it means that when I start a new series, it won't feel so bad, because I feel guilty starting a new series when I'm in the middle of so many. So I definitely want to check off the 5 that is my goal for 2022, and then once it gets more to a manageable number, then I can start other series that I'm very excited about. I'm probably not going to wait for that. I'm probably just going to start the series I want to start and then come back to you and tell you that I now have 20 series that I'm in the middle of. But the intention is there, and hopefully I will come back to you next time with a series update and tell you that I have completed some of these, or unhauled, or DNF'd, or decided something of these series. Hopefully that will happen very soon. But until then, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and stick around to see any of my thoughts as I read these series or start new ones, because I'm a mess. But that is all. I hope you have a great day, great week, great weekend. Whenever you are watching this, remember to stay safe, happy and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.